Welcome, Graveload. I'm Anthony, and let's talk about AMD and kind of skirting around the issue here with FSR. Now, WCCF reached out to AMD about their comments here, and this is I had video cards site up here, and we can head on over to the video cards or WCCF Tech as well, because there's that one. So both of these I'll link in the description below. But here you had upscaling technologies, right, that are going on that we have, and FSR 2.0, and you also have DLSS, right? They're upscaling tech from AMD and NVIDIA respectively. AMD says that theirs is open, and then you also have Intel's XeSS, which we're kind of leaving that out of this one because it's in some games. It's not really all over the place. And as you see that they both have, this is AMD slide, except somebody added on there, blocking competitors technology. Now, if you remember, there was NVIDIA stuff back in the day trying to block access to certain things from competitors or competitor software. But it's interesting to see that NVIDIA now does not and will not block, restricted, discourage, or hinder developers from implementing competitors' technologies in any way, but provide support and tools for all games to easily integrate DLSS if they choose and even create NVIDIA Streamline to make it easier for game developers to add competitive technologies to their games. Now, NVIDIA Streamline is their own kind of, hey, you can bring your technology in and we'll help it get onto this game a little bit easier. I think that there are reasons that companies like AMD and Intel or anybody else may be a little suspicious of using NVIDIA Streamline based upon NVIDIA's past history with certain technologies and what they try to do. But it's kind of interesting the take. NVIDIA had such bad backlash during the last secret deals and everything else and contracts that this is really the opposite way of what it was before. Now you take AMD. To clarify, the community sites that track and implement upscaling technology, these sites indicate that there are several number of games that only support DLSS currently. For example, see the list. We will look at that here. In fact, I already had that open. Whoops. And AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution is an open source technology that supports a variety of GPU architectures, including consoles and competitive solutions. And we believe that the open approach is broadly supported on multiple hardware platforms as the best approach that benefits developers and gamers. AMD is committed to doing what is best for the game development game developers and gamers, and we give developers the flexibility of implementing FSR into whichever games they choose. Well, that was a horrible article. Let's go into WCCF Tech. I don't think they just went in here. They had the same list. They had the quotes as well, and a little article here. I'll leave this so that you can take a look at it as well. But this leads to be like, is AMD blocking the competitor's technology? You look at the game list here and you start to see that, you know, some stuff has FSR, FSR1, some stuff only has FSR, DLSS. This is 2, this is in 2021, FSR only. You start to see, just go through this game, go through this list. I'll leave it in the description below as well. And you can see where some things only have DLSS, some things only have SFSR. DLSS has been out longer. NVIDIA seems to be doing a lot more work for easy implementation of DLSS versus AMD of making it easier just to drop in the game and have implemented. So, fine. DLSS is not something I have used too much, or FSR, right? I kind of try to run at, of course, I haven't done anything new with one of those technologies in it lately. But this is just something, if you use it, you'd like to have one of these technologies at least, or both, depending upon what it is. I'd like to even see all three. Now, is AMD, the big question is AMD blocking this technology? Uh, that is a very interesting question. And what I say is probably. I think AMD probably does have some contract language, at least saying exclusivity periods for a certain amount of time. And I bet you AMD is going to start changing that because and AMD's marketing somebody has to be gone from there. I've said this multiple times. They do not think, they do not realize things, and they like repeating things over and over again. That's how bad they are. NVIDIA had a problem with, all these contracts and stuff in the back end, and that got out. And if you think that you're going to do it better and not have these contracts get out, have all these NDAs and everything else, eventually everything gets out, AMD. So I Starfield's coming out, right? And AMD is exclusive partner in that, is sponsoring that, right? Bethesda and AMD came out a couple days ago and said that, heck, there was even a video on AMD's YouTube channel about this. And then Gamers Nexus, I was listening to their news article last night, their news video, and he said that they reached out to AMD for comment on if this is going to be an exclusive NVIDIA title with blocking DLSS or competitors' upscaling technologies, and AMD said no comment for now. Well, AMD, I don't know what you're doing, but you see, when you already have something out there and that something was already going through and being known, made public here through WCCF Tech, it's been on a couple channels. I even saw Hardware Unboxed did a thing in their news section as well, or their questions about this. It just now makes me think that yes, you are blocking your competitor's technology in games, and you're not there for the gamer at all, right? As soon as you start blocking technologies, I don't care if your technology is open or not, right? I appreciate an open source technology. I appreciate, uh, in fact, I kind of gravitate towards those things. I'll look for the openness side of things, and that gives you bonus points. But as soon as you start blocking your competitor's technology, and you not saying it directly in your comments, but you not answering the question directly, shows me that that's the approach we're going to have to take with this, because you didn't just come out like NVIDIA and deny it, right? You could have easily said, and this is why you need somebody new in marketing. You could have easily said, just say, hey, you know what? We do not believe in blocking other people's technology. We believe that the open source FSR way is the better way to get more cards supported, be able to run it on everything. But we will not block if a game developer decides to put in a competitor's technology. And we hope that it was their choice, that the FSR was the right way, and that they only chose that technology because of what we've done to support it on every GPU out there. That would have been something way better, AMD. That would have put it to bed that, hey, it's up to the game developer and everything else. But now, with Starfield saying no comment, with your lackluster addressing it, I have to take the approach that you're trying to block your competitor's technology. And know what? That's not good for gamers, right? Because gamers, you should have as many options as possible, be able to do whatever the developer wanted to put in. If FSR is the best technology and they don't want to put anything else in, that's fine. But that was on the game developer. That's not a thing of saying no comment on a direct question from Gamers Nexus, or skirting around the question from WCCF Tech when they kind of go through and ask you a question on if you're blocking your competitor's technology. Now, do I think that there may be exclusivity periods? Yes. Now, is it okay? Can it be okay for exclusivity periods on something like this? That kind of can make sense, right? You have gaming consoles that do this all the time with exclusivity before it even gets to PC sometimes. But I'd like to see, if it's like a port of a console, I see how AMD might be the easier choice, because you're just porting it over. and that may just be a natural progression before you get like DLSS or XeSS, or the game developer may just not have the bandwidth to do that. And we'll see if that kind of goes through. Now, will Starfield maybe support DLSS or something else now? Yeah, probably, because AMD probably doesn't want to be painted in this corner. And if they don't, I think that this will only grow, and AMD has the potential to actually harm FSR based upon their stance on this and how they've approached this. This is I don't get why they're going down this route, right? They were all so open and everything else, and it seems to me that there is a person in leadership, either in marketing or in higher up leadership, that needs to get back to what they've kind of envisioned in the rest of their company, which is more openness, more, getting it out there and everything else, and allowing the developer to choose and not having so much exclusivity on things, and blocking technologies, because if you're trying to block something, that's the opposite of being an open ended project, right? And it's just going to hurt everything else. And I don't think AMD, that whoever made this decision to write these comments, I don't think that they really understand right now that you have multiple segments of, hey, one was skirting around the question, one was a no comment on a new game that's highly anticipated, that this would not catch on steam and keep going. So this is why I wanted to kind of make the video, because it's just, AMD needs to be called out on this, because this isn't acceptable. I called out the GeForce stuff back in the day, and this is just not something that I want to see. Right? I actually think it's going to hurt AMD in other sectors if this keeps on snowballing and AMD doesn't address it and come out and say, we allow competitors' technologies on it, we allow whatever upscaling tech there is. That's the developer's choice, just an AMD sponsored title. They have to come out with ours first. Say something like that. But you skirting around the issue is just going to flood this more. You not having comments, you not doing any of this. AMD, if you have language in these contracts with these game developers that have exclusivity, you better be Xing them out right now, saying we're dropping those. We made a mistake, and these are gone. Put in the other upscaling technologies that you want, and so that everyone can choose what they want and have it for the gaming community, because in essence that's what you want to do. I think AMD is right now, through everything, is death by a thousand cuts. You saw some of their GPU launches this year with the 7000 series and everything that they do, the high prices of AM5 when it first launched. It's really weird last year, kind of AMD's kind of approach to things lately, but sometimes you need to change over some of your people that are making some of these decisions, AMD, and I think maybe it's time to start looking at that, because you don't want to keep going down this and hurting your other open projects and open source projects by other decisions that people in your company shouldn't have made to begin with. So let me know your thoughts on if they are exclusive. I'm leaning that way, right, because of all these comments, right? You can't say, you can't keep skirting around the questions. You have to answer them at some point, and now it will kind of snowball more until you address this head on, AMD, and that's your fault. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for taking the time to support Gray Overload and help this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. And do all the fun YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate all of that. And until next time, God bless.